Hey y'all, it's Brady. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Here is a look at some dinners that we had in the past week or so. This first one is an Italian chicken recipe with a homemade pasta sauce, so stay tuned for that. You will also see my Ritz chicken casserole, which is a huge hit around here. Everyone loves it, which I don't know about you, is a huge hit or is a huge deal when you're trying to make a meal for a family. I also made a French dip recipe, which you will see in this video as well, with some au jus sauce. And you will also see a Stromboli recipe that is pretty quick, pretty easy, and super delicious. So let's just jump right on into the video and I will show you how to make my rich chicken casserole here. I have got some pre-cooked shredded chicken. Gonna dump in about 10 ounces of sour cream. Any sour cream will work. And then I've also got some cream of chicken soup. You could probably use any cream of soup here, but cream of chicken is what I happen to have on hand. The cream of chicken with herbs would be really good. You could also make your own like fresh cream of chicken soup without the canned variety. It's just up to you. I was just throwing this together for a super quick and simple meal, so we use the canned variety. So I'm just going to mix this up. It does not look very appetizing in this state, I will admit, but it is delicious and a huge hit around here. And so if you've got kiddos that don't like casseroles with, you know, their veggies already mixed in, this is a great option. Because they're not in there, you have to serve them on the side. So that was a shot of me showing you my garlic powder here. Gonna add some pepper and some parsley, dried parsley flakes. You can really add whatever herbs or spices here that you like. I'm also throwing in a little bit of salt, not too much. That is one thing that I will say is go very easy on the salt if you add any at all, because of that cream of soup. And so I thought I was recording me putting this together, but I did not. So alas, here it is. Just some melted butter mixed with crushed Ritz crackers, and that put on top. Okay, for the side, one of our sides, we are having some green beans, so I've just got a can of Italian green beans there. There's a look at our casserole, fresh out of the oven, nice and bubbly. And I just baked that at 350 until it was brown and bubbly. I've also got some noodles, one of those Knorr instant noodles on. All right, y'all, so dinner is done. We got the rich chicken casserole. We had some leftovers as well that we threw in for some side items, so it's kind of a hodgepodge, kind of not. So I'll start with my plate. I've got green beans. These are just those Kroger Italian cut green beans. Added a little bit of bacon grease just for flavor, barely any of it though. That was some leftover corn from a previous meal. And then this is one of those Knorr sides, the butter and herb noodles or something. Just a little bit of that rich chicken casserole. The girls have kind of a mixture, so there's some black beans, some green beans, strawberries, cucumbers, ranch, a little bit of chicken casserole, and some corn. Same thing here, except for she's also got some celery and peanut butter on hers, and more black beans because she's usually the one that prefers those. And then on my husband's plate, he's got the rich chicken casserole, the pasta, green beans. Then we had some of the leftover Margaret Holmes cabbage, so he's gonna finish that off. And then he does also like black beans, so he is eating the black beans. And that is what's for dinner tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining us for What's for Dinner, and be looking out next week for another video just like this. If you are interested in some shopping hauls that led to these meals or some meal prep videos, those are popping up here at the end for you, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Okay, so I forgot to film the beginning of this, but there's our salad, and then there is our beef for our French dip sandwiches. This was just a chuck roast with a packet of au jus gravy and packet seasoning mix there, and then I just cooked it from frozen on high for a couple hours, then turned it down to low and let it cook the rest of the day. You can see how easily that pulled apart. So you'll just want to shred that up. I've got a bowl for my au jus, and then I seared those buns there with a little bit of butter and just seared the hoagie rolls on a pan. The girls are having hot dogs instead. This was not something that they love, so they were having hot dogs, but I'll show you how I assembled the French dip sandwiches here as we go. But here we go. So I realized that I did not have the camera in frame there for you, but you can kind of see how the beef looks now that I've got the camera in place correctly. And just some of that shredded beef. If you wanted to, you could pull this out first and shred it. But I was in a hurry tonight on this evening, so I just shredded it right there in the crock pot and then tossed it onto the bun. You could certainly do some sort of sauce or mayonnaise or something like that if you're into that, but we liked it just this way with some baby Swiss. This is that Sargento baby Swiss. And so I am just cutting that in half, or tearing it in half really, because who needs scissors? No, I love my kitchen scissors, but there was no need for that. So just putting that together, real simple, and then cutting it in half, and then we'll get some lovely au jus to go with it. I've also got just a bag of the steamed fresh corn there on the side. So this is super simple. Yep, so super simple, just getting a ladle, putting a little bit of au jus in there, and we are ready to go. This was a delicious dinner. All right, and here is a look at what's for dinner. It is Thursday night. We have got our French dip sandwiches, some steamed golden white corn, a little bit of the au jus gravy, and a side salad of just that baby romaine, some cheese. We'll maybe throw some croutons and definitely some ranch on that. And that is what we are having. Mind my sink. I'll give you a look at what the girls are having. So they're also going to have one of those little Danimals yogurt drinks with theirs. But they are going to have hot dogs, the uncured all beef hot dogs that I got from Aldi, some raspberries, cucumbers, celery, peanut butter. This gets her to eat just about anything. Some corn, and then again over here, ranch, more cucumbers, more corn, and hot dogs. And then they'll have milk in their cups. That is what's for dinner. Hey, so moving into our next dinner, this was that homemade Stromboli. Like I said, was super easy because you see I just pulled everything that needed to be used up in my fridge out, some jarred pizza sauce, and then some frozen bread dough that I had let thaw out to rise. And now I'm just taking each loaf. This made 4 Stromboli, and I'm taking each loaf, breaking it in half, and then stretching that out. I have found that just using your hands to stretch this out works best, because rolling it out does not seem to really get it to the best thickness, because it just keeps shrinking back. So just use your fingers, work that out. You're going to see some air bubbles. That's okay. And then I'm just going to use a spoon here and put some sauce on there. I can't remember which one it is, if it's Strombolis or calzones, that you don't put the sauce in there. I don't know. We were kind of just making this up as we go along. And what you can't really see off to the side here, you can just see my knife moving, is I'm rolling that baby spinach up and kind of chiffonading it. Is that even a word, chiffonading? I don't know. We're cutting it into strips, y'all, okay? All right, so, and then I've just got some chopped bell pepper, also gonna throw that on there. I also have some cut onion, so we're just gonna sprinkle that right on. Moving along. I guess I was in an onion mood because there's quite a bit of onion going on to this, but it tasted delicious. And so you can just use whatever veggies you've got in your fridge. This is what's awesome about making these as pizza or Stromboli. You can just throw whatever you've got left in the fridge that you need to use up. Like we had this spinach that we really needed to use before it got all wilty. So I was like, you know what? Perfect. We're going to put spinach in the pizzas or in the Strombolis tonight. So I don't know where I disappeared to. Oh, there I am. Okay. Got my olive oil. That's what I was doing. I knew I was doing something. Okay. And then I also got some spices, some Italian seasoning we're going to toss in there, and some garlic powder. Obviously, there's seasoning in your pizza sauce, so you could probably leave that out, but you know. And then I also decided that these pepperonis, I did not want whole slice of pepperoni. So I sliced those up as well, just to make it, I don't know, I just thought I would do that. So we had some pepperoni. Again, here's the trend, needed to be used up. So I did. So I've just got that slicing it up, putting it in there, and yeah. So let me know down below. I've also got some chopped ham we needed to get rid of. So there's that. Gonna toss that on in there too. And then you're gonna see that I made a boo-boo. Just wait. Anybody know what I missed? Anybody? Anybody at all? Okay. You'll find out in a moment, because I realized my mistake. Made it all look pretty. Started moving on to the next one. Still, Brady's not realizing her mistake here, but it's coming. It's coming. Believe me. You'll see. Okay, so let me know, what do you like on your pizzas? Stromboli, calzones, what do you prefer? I would love to know. Are you one of those daring pineapple on a pizza people? You could do that. If you had some already cooked chicken and some barbecue sauce, oh, you could make an awesome stromboli with that too. So it is totally up to your preferences, what you have in the fridge. I personally would have loved a barbecue chicken pizza, but I didn't have any cooked. So we went with what was already in the fridge ready to go. So again, just the same old thing here. Gonna chiffonade my baby spinach, throw that in there. I mean, you really could throw anything in here. Just whatever you prefer. If you like olives, of course you could put olives in there. Anything will do. If you like banana peppers, I don't know, what else do people put on there? We are kind of plain with our pizza. So I just kind of got creative here with what veggies we had on hand. I mean, I don't know that carrots would be that great, but you could try it. So again, onions, bell peppers, tossing those in here. But yes, let me know down below. I'd love to know. I'm always intrigued at what kind of pizza people like. My favorite pizza was at this place called Pie in the Sky that is in Nashville. And we loved their teriyaki chicken pizza. And yes, they put pineapple on it, but I did leave pineapple off of my half. I love pineapple and grilled pineapple and pineapple everything, but I don't like pineapple on pizza. So anyways, they had this teriyaki chicken pizza. We would make the drive just for the pizza, and sadly, they quit making it. So that was sad. So I'm on the hunt to make my own teriyaki sauce that does not taste like barbecue sauce, to make my own. Oh, Brady's realizing her mistake. Anybody? Did you guess? Did you guess what I left out? Did you? Because I almost put it in this one, and then I realized what I left out. The cheese. People, why was I even trying to make stromboli or pizza of any kind without the cheese? Good heavens. Ugh. Okay, so pinching that back together. And this is real life, guys. If you forget it, just open it back up and shove it on in there. It'll be fine. Flip it over. You can see some of it. There we go. Thumbs up. I figured it out. Okay, moving right along. I was going to make this just a veggie one, and then I decided that my family would be most happy if the meat was in this one as well. So that is what I did. Cutting up more pepperoni. You know the drill here. But anyways, so that was my absolute favorite pizza ever, was the teriyaki chicken pizza that they had, because they had this homemade teriyaki sauce and all this. Oh, it was so good. But alas, and it even had like roasted garlic in it. Y'all, I'm serious. It was so good. But they don't have it anymore, and they haven't for like a year now, and it makes me really, really sad. So we're gonna toss our herbs on here again, and some garlic powder again. Y'all see the drill here. Oh, this time I did not forget the cheese though. Oh goodness, y'all, I don't even know how I did that. Like, it's a big bag of cheese sitting right there opened in front of me, and I still forgot it. Whatever. So just kind of pull and stretch your dough and pinch it together, and yeah, roll your ends tight. That way nothing busts open, but you'll see here at the end that mine burst open anyways, and it's no big deal. Yeah, so I put 2 to a pan here. Probably could have put more on one pan, but certainly not all 4, so whatever. I've got some extra virgin olive oil and a pastry brush that I'm just going to brush this right on. This is not totally necessary. It's just something I like to do. And then I also like to put just some Italian seasoning and stuff on the top as well. Again, not completely necessary, just the way I like to do it. Gonna toss that in the oven now on 400 until they're done. And then I'm going to start working on the other two. So I'm gonna break this loaf in half and start the same thing. So my girls just prefer cheese pizza. So I did make one of these just cheese, and then I made one of these just cheese and pepperoni. So again, just stretching the dough out, working it around, So do you have a favorite pizza place? Like, do you prefer homemade pizza? Do you prefer just like good old Papa John's or Domino's or Pizza Hut? Or is there something else that you prefer? We also have a place in Nashville called Sir Pizza. They're kind of all over the Middle Tennessee area, but they are so good also. But y'all, they are proud. They are super proud. So, yeah, it's not necessarily a go-to because they are pretty proud. Now, pie in the sky is not cheap either, but I just kind of feel like you get more for the money. I don't know, y'all. Why is this such a debate? I don't know. But, whatever. So, just smearing the pizza sauce around again. And then I told you I'm just going to do pepperoni on one of these. So, the last of the pepperoni, chopping that right up. I wish I would have... Oh, I'm going to kind of angle so you can see the mess behind me. Oh, Lord. I feel like the mess is never ending. And since everyone is home all the time, which that's a whole nother subject. Yes, that's been a blessing in disguise. And I'm super, super thankful to have everyone together. But y'all, everyone's home all the time. And the mess is insane. But whatever. So just ignore that mess that you keep seeing peeking out behind me. The house is clean, but there's just always stuff. So, you can kind of see here me chopping up the pepperoni. So I'm just going to throw that on there. And then hopefully I don't forget the cheese. Oh, look at that, Brady. You're not forgetting the cheese this time. Good job. Okay, so again, just the cheese, you know the deal. And you could do any cheese that you have. I did not buy mozzarella specifically for this. I just had mozzarella. And I was like, hey, mozzarella goes on pizza. Let's do this. So again, garlic powder, the Italian seasoning. Not totally necessary, but, I thought it sounded fun. And pinching this together, folding the ends up, and same old drill. Y'all, you could do anything in this. Just literally anything. Any meats, any veggies, any kind of sauce. You could probably do, you could do this with Alfredo. That would be good. You could use an Alfredo sauce. And I, again, do not know where I disappeared to. Maybe the kids needed something. Who knows? But anyways, there's that one. Put the seasonings on the outside. Yeah. So I'm just going to stretch this one out and make the girls a cheese stromboli. And if you are interested, fun fact here, I only used about half a jar of sauce to do all 4 of these stromboli. So if you like more sauce than me, then you might use more of the jar. But, we have a whole half. Good Lord. We have a half still remaining of the jar. Goodness, why was that so difficult for me to say? Anyways, we have half a jar in the fridge to use next time. You could have also heat some of this up to have on the side to dip it in if you like more sauce as well. So just a thought. You could also use this dough to make like your own cheesy bread sticks kind of thing. That would be delicious. This frozen dough is so versatile, and I used to get it actually pretty cheap from our local super Target, but I was informed, unfortunately, when they did the reset on their frozen department, that frozen bread loaves did not make the cut. So I will have to figure out a different store to get those from, but just going to brush on the olive oil and garlic powder here as well. I left off the Italian seasoning so the girls could not say, ew, yuck, something green. So, here's a look at everything bubbling out as I make the plate. And again, do not mind that mess behind me in the girls' room. Yeah, that's a whole other story. So there's a look at that all cut open. Delicious. Delicious. And no, I should not be cutting on my silicone mats, but I am. You know, whatever. Oh, somebody wanted to come in there and see if it was ready. Okay, so then I just, super fancy, steamed up a bag of these veggies. Gonna toss this in this bowl here. And these are lightly sauced with like a little butter sauce. So, that was good. The girls did not eat this. They ate their own like raw veggies with dinner. So this was just for me and my husband. And it's like carrots and red bell pepper and I think yellow pepper as well, and broccoli. And that is a look. That's what was for dinner. Okay, so I am going to pre-cook my chicken for tomorrow's meal or the next day's meal, whichever way I should say that. I don't know. Y'all, not great at voiceovers yet. Haha. Whatever. Olive oil in the pan. Gonna get that. That pan is hot. Gonna throw in our diced chicken, if I can even talk. And let that cook up here with some seasonings, just some garlic powder and like salt, pepper, just a little bit, and then move right along. Okay, so there's the garlic. Okay, so I had a bright idea here to go ahead and cook my chicken since I had a larger pack of chicken, and dice some up, cook this, and then put it in the fridge for reserve for the following night. So this night you're going to see me make the chicken here for the jambalaya that we're going to have the next day. And then I'm going to use the same pan, so that's why you're going to see it that way, to make my chicken cutlets here for the Italian dinner. So now that is what you're seeing, is that I've moved on to pounding the chicken for the chicken cutlets. These sound kind of fancy just from saying chicken cutlets, in my opinion. But there you can see it's just kind of like, I don't know, like an 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. I don't really know, y'all. Thick there. And then I'm just going to put it back, the next piece, into my plastic wrap here. And I'm using the flat side just because I don't want a bunch of puncture holes. I just want to flatten it. But I took some really large chicken breast, filleted them down the middle, thickness wise, and then I'm pounding these out each here. So this made quite a bit of chicken and was super, super tasty. Did not take long to cook the chicken at all, and was probably my favorite meal out of all of these. Just the fresh sauce that goes with the pasta here, and also just the chicken cutlets themselves were delicious. Just such flavor. Very tender, and they were great. Then here is a look. I didn't bore you to do it all, but there's a look at all of them all flattened out. Moving on to the broccoli. So we also had a roasted broccoli with this dinner, and I just did oven roasted broccoli. If you oven roast your veggies, please tell me your tips. Leave them down in the comments down below. I really, really need your tips here on making roasted veggies, particularly broccoli. I just didn't feel like it had a lot of flavor. I don't know. And it wasn't like super crispy. I don't know. I felt like I didn't really crowd my pan. I felt like I seasoned it okay, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I did not add enough seasoning. So I don't know. I had a fresh crown of broccoli here and I thought, let's roast it. Let's try it. And that's what we did. So I've just spread my broccoli out here on the pan that I have lined with foil. And then, I don't know, I just got out some seasonings and some olive oil and did my best here. But again, leave me your tips down below because I would love to know. So I have this like table blend Mrs. Dash and some extra virgin olive oil. And I'm just kind of going to town, gonna zhuzh it around. And yeah, that's what we did. I don't know, is this correct? I put it on 400 for about 20-ish minutes. I don't know. Just until they looked done and not burnt. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Am I doing this right? Is there something? Should there be more oil here? More seasonings? I don't know. I felt like I pretty liberally seasoned, but they were just kind of meh. But the salad to go with it was delicious. The broccoli or the chicken cutlets were delicious. The the cherry tomato pasta was great. I don't know. I just don't know. So same pan here, heating that back up. This is that one I was telling you about that I cooked the chunks of chicken up, and now I'm going to put a pat of butter, and this is just regular butter. And then I'm also going to add some olive oil to keep that smoke temperature down. I don't know, it sounded like the right fancy Food Network thing to do, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to season my chicken cutlets with the Italian seasoning and some garlic powder and go from there. Okie doke, so here are our chicken cutlets. I've seasoned one side while they are in that bowl. Some onion powder, garlic powder, and Italian seasoning. And then I'm just going to throw a couple in the pan. This took probably the longest part, honestly, but it was not difficult at all. And I just have this over medium-high heat. Not medium-high, just medium heat here. And then I'm going to liberally season this side as well with the seasonings, the salt, pepper, garlic powder. I didn't really do any salt. I think I just did garlic powder, pepper, and the Italian seasoning. And then this is just gonna cook here a couple minutes on each side, and then they are done and ready to go. There's the puppy trying to see if I dropped anything. To her dismay, there was nothing for her to get. So you can see there, ooh, pretty. They're just lightly golden. Oh, and I just decided to throw the camera around apparently. Okay, so now I want to show y'all how I made my cherry tomato sauce. So I've got a container of these like mixed snacking cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes, small petite tomatoes, whatever. And then also a handful of cherry tomatoes from my little container garden. And then I've just got these kind of blistering. Let's sound super fancy. Just blistering. These took a few minutes. I think it took about 10 to 15 minutes to blister up like this, and then they were good to go. So once they've done that, I will add garlic. You can see I added some garlic here, some onion powder, and some seasoning. I think it was just Italian seasoning and maybe a tiny bit of salt, no sugar. Okay, then I've got the radiatori noodles. Sounds super fancy, and they were a whopping 82 cents at Walmart for a pound. And I think we only used about not even half a box and had plenty of leftovers. So that was done blistering, so I threw this in the blender. If you have an immersion blender, that would work even better. And then just toss that back in the pan. It does not look like a lot. This is kind of a large pot, so you know, whatever. Maybe I used too big of a pot. Who knows? And then the noodles are cooking. They are almost ready. I like them al dente, so I don't want to overcook them. Finishing up the chicken here and just going right along. Oh, I'm also going to add a dash of Parmesan and Romano cheese to the sauce. And hopefully, if you have, I mean, you could really use any cheese you have on hand here. This is just that, you know, like super fancy shaky cheese that I kind of always seem to have stuck in the fridge. So I just added a little bit of that. But again, no sugar here. This is just the cherry tomatoes, garlic, onion powder, the cheese. And it was so super fresh and delicious. I really think you will love this. I am not even a huge like red sauce fan, and I love this. So I'm going to strain that pasta. Oop, there's the broccoli. But again, I just didn't love it. All right, here's a look at dinner tonight. We have got the cherry tomato radiatori pasta, a little bit of French bread, a little bit of oven roasted broccoli with Parmesan, and our Italian chicken cutlets on the side there. And then I will show you, oh, I guess not, I've already put it on the table. We also just have a baby romaine salad that we put cheddar cheese and croutons, a little bit of Ken's Steakhouse ranch, and some bacon bits and croutons and cucumbers. And that is what's for dinner. Okie doke. So here is that pre-cooked chicken I was talking about from the night before. Boom, done, easy. So we're just going to heat that up in the pot here to make our jambalaya for this next meal. It was super simple, and I mean, obviously, it's kind of like a hamburger helper type thing. It's not like it's that difficult to make this jambalaya. It's a box, but since I already had the meat cooked, that did shorten our time as well. And then I'm also shortening our time by heating up some canned seasoned cabbage here. So I'm just gonna let that get to cooking. And now that our chicken has heated up, I'm just, reading the instructions like I don't know how to make this. And there you go. Just ignore the crazy mess you're going to see out the corner there. They are attempting to clean up their room, but So, we are making, like I said, the jambalaya. So I've just measured out the water. And then I think you just kind of throw it all in here. It's literally super simple. You could, of course, use the kielbasa that it recommends and chicken, or just kielbasa. I mean, anything you want to do here. So there was my seasoning and rice packet, and we are just going to stir it up, let it cook the way they recommend, and dinner is finished. So here is a look at everything combined. Like you've never seen this before. I don't know why I'm acting like this is some big deal, but it's not. But there it is as it's all coming together. Gonna let that simmer now and turn it down. And then here we go. Everything is all cooked and ready to go. The rice is tender and delicious. And then I'm just gonna heat up some frozen veggies, cut up some fruit, and make an easy dinner of it tonight. All right, and here is a look at tonight's dinner. We have got the jambalaya, Zatarain's mix, just some of that super sweet corn and cabbage. And then I'll show you over here. Here's mine, here's the girls. So they're kind of having a modified of last night's dinner because they did really like that one. The cut up Italian chicken and a little bit of that Italian cherry tomato radiatori pasta. They've got some corn, some veggies and ranch, and some strawberries. Same thing over here. All right, so here's a quick look at dinner tonight. We've got the jambalaya with chicken. We've got that Margaret Holmes cabbage and some of the super sweet corn with just a tiny bit of butter. And over here, there's the girls' plates. Okay, so these final clips are just some dinners that we had that I thought I would show in here and throw them in this video. Just some fajita nachos with some seasoned chicken, veggies, and queso cheese dip poured over nachos or over chips. This night I made a homemade Chewy's copycat Tex-Mex with enchiladas and homemade tortillas and quesadillas and rice and beans and creamy jalapeno dip and the whole 9 yards. If you would like to see the video on how to make all of this and a cook with me on that, I'll link that up above and down in the description box below for you. But that is everything for our meals for What's for Dinner this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.